Hey guys, if you're new to this channel, so am I. That's why I want to tell you a bit about what you can expect. And if you think this is valuable to you, subscribe so you don't miss out. This channel is all about reversing chronic diseases and recreating our health. I help people who want to reverse their chronic diseases. People from all walks of life, no matter what type of chronic disease, whether it is heart diseases or the many types of cancer or eczema, migraines, brain fog, depression, anxiety, irritable bowel syndrome, lower back pain, thyroid issues, autoimmune diseases, you name it. So one of the first questions I always get, and probably that goes on in your mind as well right now, is that possible at all? I've never heard of that. Or probably you have heard of it, but it's like the spontaneous remissions or magical healings. Well, they aren't so magical after all, because what do we see as magic is that we can see that it is happening, but we cannot explain it. Now, that is why this channel is born, to give a solid scientific explanation translated in plain English, but with a Dutch accent, because, well, that's me. So people who did reverse their chronic disease and recreated health, they all have one thing in common, and that is that they treated the causes. Now, this is quite crucial, so that's why I repeat. Those people treated their own causes themselves. Now, medical care treats symptoms. It doesn't mean that those people didn't receive and accept medical care. Most of them did. Medical care is excellent in treating symptoms, relieving symptoms, delaying progression. When we receive good quality, adequate medical care, it does not only makes us feel better, but it also gives that bit of extra energy and time and the space for ourselves to work on the causes. Because working on the causes is a journey. It takes time. And medical care is quite fast. If we get medication, usually it kicks in within a couple of hours, or a surgery usually helps within a couple of days or weeks. Working on causes takes time. It's a journey. So why would one take on such a journey? Well, to me, there's only one answer: to get the best, the very best possible out of this short moment of, let's say, 50 or 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120 years that we have on this beautiful planet. That's it. You see, I was born into a family with a lot of chronic diseases. I do not know my parents without it. And one of my first baby pictures, I see myself sitting on my dad's belly, and he was laying flat on the couch. And my mom told me later that he was there for months and months with severe back pain. And it took about 15 years before he had a somewhat successful surgery that helped him a great deal. But over the course of those 15 years, there was a lot of pain. This man was in a lot of pain. And he got a lot of immobility issues and a lot of incapacities, not doing the things for himself that he wanted to do, or the things for us, or the things with us that he wanted to do. There was a lot of sadness, depression even. And well, because of that, he lost his job. So there was also a lack of resources in our household. But that was only one of the many chronic diseases that we had as a family. So at the age of 7 or 8, I saw that our family was different. Now, I also have a brother and a sister. They are about 10 years older. And at that time, they were already engaged with their now spouses. So that was our family, but we were different because of chronic disease. And I could tell because I saw all the other families around us. And bear in mind, these were the 70s. So the incidence of chronic diseases wasn't like the pandemic that we recognize right now on chronic diseases. Now, at this point, 7 out of 10 people have one or more chronic diseases in Western countries. That's a lot. But at that time, that wasn't the case. So I could tell the difference. And I was asking my parents, why do we have chronic disease? And my parents told me time and again, it just happens. We just have bad chance. It just happens. And then I joined them on the many doctor's visits that they had. And those doctors said exactly the same. It just happens. There's not really anything you can do about it. Now, that scared the hell out of me. Because it did not only shut doors for improvement, and I so wanted them to have this improvement, that they could do the things that they wanted to do, that they didn't have these immobilities, and that they could just enjoy life a bit more. But also, my parents and I, we've always been very, very close. We were lifelong best friends. I had the best position a child could ever have. Loving, very great parents. And I didn't want them to die. I just wanted them to live a fulfilled life. And on top of that, if it could happen to them out of the blue, it could happen to me out of the blue. And I didn't want it to die. I had big dreams. Actually, I still have. So I couldn't accept that chronic disease just happens and there's nothing really we can do about it. No. So I promised myself I will find a solution. So here I am. And my own journey had begun. So after my PhD in quantum chemistry, I started a corporate career. But as a sidekick, I knew how to do research. I knew how to read research. So I became a health researcher specialized on chronic diseases to find a solution. So now I have about 20 plus years of experience. Now, in the meantime, the health of my parents did not get any better. Actually, it got worse. They got more chronic disease, more severity of their diseases, to a point that the doctors couldn't tell if a certain symptom was coming from the one chronic disease or the other. And I did not find a practical handle out of the research yet. So I tried alternative routes. I tried to find anything that I thought was possible. And I did anything, like things that made sense and things that were actually quite weird, like importing boxes and boxes of noni juices out of Hawaii to treat colon cancer. By the way, it didn't work. And or I smuggled biofeedback equipment into a grocery bag covered with salads into the hospital where my mother was, and wheelchaired her into a secret room, closed the door to give her a treatment to avoid a very risky surgery the next day. Now, by the way, that worked, but that's a different story. I think it's weird. And I did a lot of other things, like I got certified as a hypnobirthing practitioner, as a life coach. I became a meditation teacher. I had a very deep dive into Ayurveda, in Chinese medicine, in energy medicine, in nutrition. I got a postdoctorate in healthcare management, and everything I found, I tried out. I experienced, I, of course, researched to find evidence for it, and I practiced what I preached. I walk the talk, I drink my own champagne, and because I drink my own champagne, I do not drink champagne. You get it? I do not do alcohol. So the scientist in me wants to have solid evidence to find a solution for chronic diseases. And I got it. The so-called unsolvable problem of chronic diseases isn't that unsolvable. We just need a different perspective, the perspective of treating the causes while treating the symptoms. That's it. So here I am, fully dedicated to solve this big problem of chronic diseases on this planet. And I'm here for those people who want to reverse their chronic disease themselves. And for those people with chronic disease who want to recreate their health, I so want you to live a fulfilled life, to live a life on your own terms, that you can do the things that you want on the timing that you want, instead of being dependable on others, on medication, or have the day-to-day impediments, pain and hassles that come with chronic disease, feeling that you have no control over your health, so over your life, feeling insecure about your future simply because the hallmark of chronic disease is progression. So the outlook is it only gets worse. So I want for you that you can live your desires and enjoy freedom. And isn't that deep inside that we all want to live this freedom, live our desires? Now, that goes way, way beyond chronic diseases. I get that. But chronic disease can block a lot of our joy, can block a lot of our happiness, can block a lot of our fulfillment of desires, can block a lot of our freedom. So, can we have it all? Well, that is a question that I leave up to you to answer. But what I do know, with my expertise on chronic disease, is that for sure you can bring a halt to the progression of chronic disease so it doesn't go worse. And I know that you can reverse chronic disease to an extent that permanent damage repairs. The damage repairs that is underlying these chronic diseases. And when that damage repairs over time, symptoms fade and we will feel better. We reversed chronic disease. And I know that the majority of the damage that is caused by chronic disease is non-permanent damage. So it takes some time, but when we stop the causes, only when we stop the causes, the body will heal itself over time. It will repair, it will restore function, it will rejuvenate, new cells will grow. Can chronic disease fully reverse? That is dependent on how much the non-permanent damage is, but also how we are able to really step into our journey, how we are able to really bring a halt to the causes. That is the journey. Now, I also know that the people who stepped on that journey, the people who publish that they have reversed their chronic disease and recreated health, even from later stages of their chronic diseases, they all tell that it was a journey that they didn't want it to have missed, because it was a great journey, a journey of inner growth, a journey of inner transformation, and that now they have so much more appreciation for life. So that is what I want for you too. And if you step on that journey, you may find a you there that you never knew was yours. Now, that one I got from Mary Poppins. So I hope you enjoy this channel, but most of all, enjoy your life.